at Cabangahan, Malaybalay City. Right behind me is a three-story house known as Torre ni David, located owned by Valmorida family. For those who want to visit this spot, I will be your feet and eye for this video. I am Alexis Bagongon, your tourist guide for this day.
Torre ni David or David's Tower is a popular edifice along the highway of Cabangahan, Malaybalay City. This old three-story house was built in the year 1962 by David Valmorida. The name of the house is said to be a reference from the Bible character named David. The house was made of a combination of wood and concrete. Its most noticeable design was the figures of men in the corners of each floor as if it were carrying the load above them. In front of the house has a 4 buttress that serve as the exterior support that projected the wall to increase the supporting power, creating higher and heavy walls to resist the side thrust. The use of buttress was a typical Gothic architectural design. The windows of the house are in big rectangular shape to have wide openings, allowing the air inside the house. It is a common design to ancient Filipino houses. Wood carved design were also visible all over the house and most noticeable in the balcony of 2 floors, giving an attractive decoration. Also, life-size figures of animals can be seen around the house like lions, monkeys, giraffe, and elephant. There has been no major renovations done as the colors were already faded and some parts were already damaged like the ceiling and broken animal figures. Overall, Torre ni David is indeed stunning even in ages and one-of-a-kind architectural house that really amazes for anyone that visits.
Thank you for joining me for this vlog. I am hoping that you have a great time of enjoyment and a lot of lessons learned throughout the video. Goodbye!
According to Francisco Demetrio's book entitled Cagayan, the first bridge in Cagayan de Oro City was built in what we know as Isalina Bridge, and it was bit unstable and made of bamboo at first. It was built around 1888 to 1890 by the labeled bridge builder Major Juan Zanon, a military governor of the Misamis province. It measured 128 meters long hanging bridge and was named Puente del General Blanco after incumbent General Ramon Blanco y Arenas, a governor and captain from 1893 to 1896. Its construction was funded by donations from several local families in Cagayan de Oro with 5,000 pesos worth in gold coins and was built to be the longest suspension bridge in the Philippines at one point. From then on, several improvements have been made, making it a suspension bridge to a fully concrete bridge as seen on the famous inauguration photo dated in August 26, 1931.
The Executive Building, or currently known as the Old City Hall, was constructed in 1940 and is located on Capistano Street. Before, in 1831, all Spanish military governors of Misamis, who were all lieutenant colonels, lived at Casa Real, the same location where the Executive Building stands today. The architecture of the Executive Building possesses a neoclassical design which is characterized by its simplistic geometric forms, Greek or Roman detail, especially seen by its use of Doric designs for its columns, and its preference for blank walls, giving the building an antique vibe. Government structures are usually associated with Greek or Roman designs because it was actually the Greeks and Romans who heavily promulgated the idea of government and democracy hundreds of years ago, influencing even the old city hall's design in CDO. Through such design, the structure is able to emulate a character of strength, logic, and justice.
Before we show you the architectural structure of the church, let us first have a brief background. The St. Augustine Metropolitan Cathedral is currently situated near Gaston Park of Cagayan de Oro City. It was erected during the post-World War II year 1946. The original structure was built in 1845 by Fray Simon Los Cos de Santa Catalina along the Gothic style. However, this structure was destroyed by the bombardment of Cagayan during the World War II. At present, it was Archbishop James Hayes of the Society of Jesus who built the current structure with a Gothic revival style.
Hi guys! Bantay na, daw kayo na.
Hi guys! We're here at the St. Augustine Metropolitan Cathedral and we're going to tour you around to show you the architectural aspect of the church.
Let's get this vlog started.
St. Augustine Metropolitan Cathedral was designed along Gothic style. However, take note that this style evolved from Romanesque style, that is why some of its features was inspired by the preceding period. First, let us notice the shape. It's like a cruciform, with a long central aisle which is called nave, traversed by the transept at right angles. Cruciform is a defining feature of a typical Romanesque church. Today, it is not that externally noticeable anymore due to the extensions made to cater the rising number of churchgoers, but you can still notice it when you get inside the church. Situated at the uppermost part of the cruciform, the cathedral also has a sanctuary apse, where several saints are positioned in a semicircle with St. Augustine at the center. It also has a minor ambulatory, an aisle around the apse designed for walking. Moreover, opposing the position of apse is somewhat a second floor. A Gothic-style structure is inclusive of artworks. In the case of our subject, these are the sculptures, stained glass windows, and manuscript illustrations. Gothic architecture allowed the squat and heavy Romanesque churches to soar, making them objects of awe to this day. It was a style that appealed to the senses, light, spiritually uplifting, and exhilarating. Its characteristic features as seen in the subject include pointed arches and ribbed vault. The system of pointed arches and ribs allowed greater heights and width. What seemed like a skeletal framework inside the cathedral exhilarated the viewer because much light from the outside seeped into the various openings of the building, especially during morning masses.
The cathedral made use of different styles of columns. The ones outside are Corinthian, which are the most ornate and elaborate of the three Greek orders. Multiple styles are used for the columns inside the cathedral. On the sides of the nave are semi-engaged columns, or columns that are embedded in a wall and partly projecting from its surface. Some Doric columns were also used towards the north end of the cathedral, where the statues of the saints are placed. The cathedral also made use of Neo-Gothic style windows. The cathedral has multiple aisles. The main aisle is in the center of the nave, leading right into the altar. There are a few more aisles on the sides of the cathedral, which are separated by the pews and the columns. The cathedral also has a dome. It is right above the altar, where the priest stands during a mass. The dome has a hemispherical shape and is supported by a ribbed vault. The facade of the cathedral is Gothic in style. It has stained glass windows, which is one of the architectural style's most recognizable features. Another feature present is the belfry, or the bell tower, which was very prominent in the Belgian Gothic architecture. Although the cathedral makes use of Gothic architecture features, it is relatively short in comparison to the other cathedrals which are also Gothic in style.